Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over a potential wildcard draft for Game Week 21. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below. Leave a comment. Are you thinking of playing your second wildcard anytime soon? Subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, let's take a look at the goalkeepers. As I've just said, we do now all have a second wildcard. We're over the hump, over the halfway point of the season. So yeah, everyone is now been given a free wild card. If you didn't use your one before this week, then obviously, yeah, you would have lost it. You would have just still, well, you wouldn't have lost it, you just wouldn't have gotten an extra one. But yeah, in goal, we do have Turner and Areola. So these are just the best goalkeepers to have for the prices that they are. Turner at 3.9, obviously very cheap, is still the #1 goalkeeper for Forest. Absolute shambles in terms of a goalkeeper though. Like, as a Forest fan, I can't wait for him to not be our #1. Like, the amount of mistakes he's making, I would not be surprised to see us sign a new goalkeeper in January. And again, I think we need to sign a new goalkeeper in January. So if you wanted to bring in a different goalkeeper for that, for like a cheaper price, I think Kelleher is like 3.7 actually, but the only problem with that is it does block your... It just blocks your other Liverpool players and stuff like that, which is not ideal. But that's why I've gone for Turner, just because he's only 3.9 and he is still the #1. But, you know, if you wanted to go for a different goalkeeper, then obviously be my guest. And then Areola, 4.2, decided to turn into prime David Seaman in the last couple of weeks. Just clean sheet after clean sheet. Was obviously terrible for the start of the season, but has definitely turned it around and put in obviously a really good performance against Brighton, which is really annoying for me. But either way, yeah, Areola, I think, for his price, 4.2, and they've got some nice fixtures coming up. I think he's a pretty good goalkeeper to have. There are better options like Martinez and Raya and players like that, and maybe Edison also as well, with that double probably coming up soon. But at this point in time, yeah, I could completely understand why I'd go Areola instead. There is still 2.9 mil left on this wildcard draft, so obviously, if you do want to spend a little bit and you do want to upgrade to an Edison, because like I say, they probably will have a couple double coming up around, you know, the very near future. Yeah, I don't mind Edison as a pick, but it's just so much more expensive, like 1.3 mil more than Areola. And yeah, the fixtures are good, but they haven't been great defensively. So personally, I don't think I would go that way. I think I would just bring in like a Kyle Walker or someone like that instead of Edison, and I think that'd just do you much better. And yeah, that is obviously a different avenue you could take. But yeah, 2.9 mil left in the bank, so you still have a lot. Obviously, it's nice to have a little bit of money in the bank for when you want to bring back Salah and stuff like that. But yeah, either way, they are the goalkeepers. At the back, we have Gabriel, Dan Burn, Trent, Porro and Taylor. So Taylor's just a 4 mil defender. Burn's going to be on your bench obviously until Newcastle hopefully sort it out, and they do have some really nice fixtures coming up in the horizon as well after City and Villa. So yeah, he'd obviously be playing those fixtures and not be on your bench for those kind of fixtures, as long as they sort it out. I mean, they're losing to everyone at the moment, but if they've kind of sorted it out by then obviously, yeah, it would be a nice option to have. And Dan Burn, you know, his minutes have been a little bit all over the place, but you know, he has been coming back from fitness and stuff like that. That it might be a little bit of rotation risk, but I think once he's back to full fitness, I think he'll be fine, because you know, he is a really good player in terms of that Newcastle back line. So I'm fine with having him on the bench, and then obviously bringing him in for these fixtures. Gabriel, yeah, it could be Gabriel, could be Zinchenko. I know Zinchenko's got a little bit of a calf injury at the moment, but he should be back for Game Week 21. Saliba also a really nice option, a bit more expensive though. Gabriel still is only 4.9. In fact, I think he's 5 now. He is 5 now, but either way, still the cheapest Arsenal defender, and I can't see him losing this spot anytime soon. So yeah, if you want an Arsenal defender, then yeah, Gabriel I think will be absolutely fine. They've got some nice fixtures coming up as well. So yeah, I like Gabriel in this. Trent as well, just an absolute point magnet apart from last game. He's just a really nice player to have in your team. And again, while Salah's not in the team, because obviously he's off to AFCON, gives you that Liverpool kind of it just covers Liverpool a little bit more. And you know, the forwards are good. Like, you got your Diaz, Jota, Darwin Núñez, Gakpo, like they're good options, but there's so much rotation risk. I just don't really like that idea. I think Núñez is probably going to be fine, but I think your Gakpo, your Diaz, and your Jota's going to be a lot of rotation, as well as like Harvey Elliott that can play like a little bit more forward, as well as like Jones and stuff like that. I just think there's just a little bit too much rotation there, so I personally wouldn't go looking for a different Liverpool attacker. I think Trent, who's basically playing as a midfielder anyway, I think will be fine, and then you can easily, if you want to get rid of him for Salah, then you can obviously do that. And then also Porro, not the greatest fixture coming, well, United away, I mean, that could really go either way. But yeah, Porro I think is just a really good player to have in your team right now. Also, basically acting like a midfielder. So yeah, I really like Porro. Is just his the chances it's creating, obviously on set pieces as well. I think Spurs as a team are a little bit more risky to kind of invest in now that Son's gone, as well as the injuries that they have as well. I know a lot of people are kind of looking at Richarlison and Kulusevski and stuff like that, but I think without Son and like Maddison, I think they're going to lose a lot of creativity, and I don't think like they're going to be. I think they're getting overhyped a little bit. You know, Richarlison I don't think is a great player personally, and I don't think that without players like Son and Maddison in the team, I don't think he's going to get as many. I know his stats have been a lot better recently, but that is with like Son being in the team and stuff like that. So I might be completely wrong, but I just personally wouldn't go that way. I think there's better midfielders to have in the team as opposed to those kind of players. And then Taylor's just, like I say, your 4 mil defender. Could even play him this week if you really wanted to, who's got Luton at home. If you wanted to play him over Porro, there's nothing wrong with that. But that is the back line there and the goalkeepers. Moving on to midfield, we have Saka, Bowen, Palmer, Ødegaard, and Garnacho. I've actually gone for a 3-4-3 formation for this draft because I just, like, there obviously are good midfielder options. It's just I think there's striker options that are cheaper and are playing a lot better at the moment. But again, this is just my personal wildcard draft that I would probably go with if I was on a wildcard this week. I'm not activating mine, but I just like the 3-4-3. I think it is going to be the way forward, especially with like Tony coming back as well. Like you could even play Tony instead. I mean, Brentford don't look great at the moment, but you know, with Tony being back, maybe it does change things up a little bit. But either way, Saka, yeah, not been ideal really to own. He obviously did score. It was a bit of a fluky goal, to be fair, but hopefully he will kind of turn it on now and just hopefully be a lot better after this this little break in the Prem. So yeah, fingers crossed that he does kind of sort it out. Bowen is just going up in price constantly. I mean, they've got some really nice fixtures coming up. Everybody is downgrading to him from Son, Salah, players like that. So I completely understand. Yeah, I think he's definitely going to be one of my transfers this week. I may have to make the transfer soon. He's gone up in price again. He's 8.1 now. It was like 7.9 the other day. So yeah, if he's looking like he's going to go up again, I kind of want to wait after this weekend though and see like all these FA Cup and whatever, all those games being played, and then we'll kind of know a little bit more information about players and stuff, because they can always pick up an injury, and you know, knowing that if I bring him in, he's probably going to pick up an injury. So I really like him as an option. I think he's definitely going to be in a lot of teams going forward after game week 20. And then we've also got Palmer as well. Again, cheap. Incredible player, value for money, just ridiculous. Should be in every single squad. He has now gone up to 5.6, but yeah, he's just like, he's not going to lose his spot. He's just been the best Chelsea player this season, and after that massive haul as well that he just got, he's just a great player to have, you know. And yeah, there are other players around that price point as well, like obviously Hechan before he went away, Gordon's around this price point, you got Alanga, stuff like that. I just think Palmer outclasses all of them, and even though Chelsea aren't having a great season, I think Palmer is just, I think he's just a set and forget really, and he's also on penalties as well. I mean, he should be on penalties, like Nkunku's back, but Palmer's not missed one. There's no reason that you should lose him. If he misses one, then maybe we revisit that conversation, but as of right now, there's literally no reason for Palmer to lose the penalty kick taking. And I've also gone Ødegaard as well. Again, this could generally be anyone, this kind of fourth midfielder spot. It could be a Foden, it could be a Richarlison. It's just, as I've already spoken about Richarlison and Kulusevski, that's why I've already spoken about it. I don't need to speak about it again, but that's why I wouldn't go with them. With Foden, it's a little bit, you know, with Doku being back, obviously Grealish being fine, Haaland being back, De Bruyne being back, it just creates a lot of uncertainty around Foden. Foden's been playing really well the last couple of games, and his minutes have been really, really good. And you could go Foden if you wanted to. Like, you don't have to go Ødegaard. It's just because of the fixtures and the fact that Ødegaard's a 90-minute man. He's on set pieces, stuff like that. Whereas, you know, Foden does have the rotation risk. It's just one of those, like, it's just personal preference. I like going for a more nailed player than having to deal with that kind of rotation. So that's why I've gone Ødegaard, but there's a lot of other players that you could easily go as well. But that's just the way I've kind of spread the funds. I've just gone for triple Arsenal, really. I know they've not been fantastic lately, but I think they'll definitely turn it around. And they just have better fixtures as well. Like, you know, Man United away next for Spurs. It's not ideal. It's just one of those. They've also gone Garnacho as well. Like, he's obviously a bench player, but he is obviously getting a lot more minutes. And he's playing a lot better as well. And, you know, I think for 4.8, with the fixtures they've got coming up, he is a little bit of a steal. And, you know, you don't have to play him every week, but in a game where they've got, like, Luton away or Fulham at home, like, there's no reason not to, like, play him. The only problem is you'd have to bench one of your attackers. But, you know, when, like, I don't know, Solanke, if he's got, like, I don't know, like a Man City away or whatever, and Garnacho's got a good fixture, you can always just do that. But either way, that's the midfield. And then up top, we've got Haaland, Watkins, and Solanke. Haaland is still flagged, but Guardiola himself has said that De Bruyne and Haaland are back, so that they should be hopefully fit for game week 21. I mean, he said they're back, so they should be fine. Obviously, if Haaland's not back, this all changes because you got a lot more money to kind of spread around, but there's not really any other really expensive players to bring into the squad. So yeah, kind of hope that Haaland is back, because everyone will be bringing him in this week regardless. But yeah, Haaland, Newcastle away, definitely captaincy shout that week as well. I think that Newcastle are just very, very poor at the moment. I mean, we scored 3 against them at St. James's Park. It's a little bit worrying what City's probably going to do to them away at St. James's Park. And then Watkins and Solanke, yeah, I just think for their price this season and what they're doing, I think they're just really, really nice options. And yeah, even if things go wrong with Solanke, there's other strikers as well that you can easily bring in. Like if Tony starts playing better, you can bring him in, or you just revert back to a 3-5-2 if you wanted to. Like, there's nothing wrong with that really. But that's kind of the wildcard draft that I put together. Again, it may change over this next week if there's certain players getting injured and stuff like that. So we'll probably do team selection tomorrow. But again, I've not made any transfers this week. I'm probably not going to make any transfers this week. I've already kind of lost a lot in price rises and price falls and stuff. I've already lost 0.1 in both Salah and Son and Hee-Chan. I'm pretty sure. And then I think I've also, obviously Bowen's gone up 0.1 as well. So I don't really have to do anything now. I've taken the price hits just to be a little bit more, I guess, careful. But if we are starting to get like even more price changes and stuff, then I'll have to revisit it. But yeah, team selection will be tomorrow, and then next week there might be different changes. I'm not really sure. But either way, that's everything for today's video. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. And until next time, peace.